Hey guys, so we landed on Wednesday in Orlando and we checked in early at our hotel in Port Canaveral. We used that day to rest up and settle in, and the next day we went to Hollywood Studios at Disney World. So we had an impromptu Disney day in essence. Before we went, we purchased Disney Genie Plus. This replaced the Fast Pass that was being used before the pandemic. Disney Genie Plus allows you to reserve a spot at the front of the line for a specific ride. You can only use this one ride every 2 hours, and it's based on availability. So if, just say you want to get on Tower of Terror, but all the spots are already taken, you can't get on you can't use Disney Genie Plus to get on Tower of Terror. It costs $25 per person for the entire day. Before we go through our day at Disney World, I'm going to say that we used Disney Genie Plus to reserve two things. The first was we used to reserve a spot for the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride at 2:30. We did that when we first arrived, about 10:30ish, and then about 12:30ish we used it to reserve a spot on Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster, and that was at about 5:30. Our first ride was Star Tours. It's a Star Wars ride where you're on a spaceship that's taking you pretty much through a tour of different planets in the Star Wars universe. Of course, this ride does not go as planned because C-3PO and R2-D2 are controlling the ship. The fun thing about this ride was that Gabe wound up being the rebel spy. Yeah. Next, we walked through Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars area of Hollywood Studios. And we went through Galaxy's Edge and into Toy Story Land. I could be saying that wrong, and I do apologize. We stood in line for about 80 minutes to ride Slinky Dog's Dash, which is a pretty kid-friendly roller coaster that the kids really enjoyed. After the roller coaster, we wound up ordering some food. It was about, say, 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish in the Disney app. And that made things so much easier, just to be honest with you. We wound up ordering grilled cheeses, pretty much for everybody, which was made on garlic bread, which was really good, tater tots, and drinks. We left from eating and went to the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride, which was in Galaxy's Edge. My niece and I were the pilots, the boys were the gunners, and my wife and daughter were the engineers. It's a pretty interactive ride for everyone. Disney Genie Plus got us through the line and into the ride with pretty much no wait time. The normal wait for that ride was about 100 minutes. After that ride, we strolled around for a while, and then we went and got on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. That's a lot to say. The wait time for this ride was crazy. The Disney Genie Plus did not have any availability for this ride, so we had to go through the general admission line. The problem was that the people who did reserve in the Disney Genie Plus got in really fast, while everyone else was waiting pretty much for that Disney Genie Plus line to be empty before they let pretty much anyone in the general admission side of it. My one thing about this is that even if I know I paid for Disney Genie Plus, I wouldn't mind it being some middle ground where they let some people in from Disney Genie Plus or that line, and then let people in from the general admission line too, just to make it more enjoyable for all parties, just because it's a long ride, a long wait, and if you have little kids, that can be really, really tiresome, and kids get anxious and antsy and don't want to sit in that line for that long. Our last ride we reserved using Disney Genie Plus was the Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster. We also had to use rider swap for this ride because Gabriel was a bit too short to be on the ride. Rider swap allows for one parent to stay outside of the ride with the child that can't ride it or doesn't want to ride it, and for the other parent to go through either the regular line or the Fast Pass line, depending on what they have, or Disney Plus, depending on what they have. And then when they're finished, the other parent can swap onto the ride and they can take one person with them. So Sharita went and got on the ride with everybody else, and then I waited with Gabriel, and then after they finished riding and came back out, Aaliyah actually went and got back on the roller coaster with me, and we pretty much didn't have a wait because we went to the Disney Genie Plus line, even though we used Disney Genie Plus and we had Fast Pass. After we finished the Rock and Roller Coaster, we took Gabriel to, it was called the Lightning McQueen's Racing School, I believe it was. It's a little presentation they have. It's mainly for little children, where Lightning is going over different things about racing, and then of course things don't go right and he rounds up racing somebody, and that's the ride. It wasn't anything crazy, but the kids enjoyed it, and it was cars, and it made me think I really want to go back and watch Cars again. After that, we actually did some shopping. So we walked around to the different shops right there at the front of the, right when you walk into Hollywood Studios, and then we went to eat at Hollywood Brown Derby. That Disney magic kind of kicked in because we went there. We actually wound up sitting at the exact same table that we sat at when we came to Hollywood Brown Derby in 2021. Don't know if that was purposeful or not, but it was a nice touch. To get to and from the park, we used Uber or Lyft ride shares. So the rides were pretty quick to get there. We had a little bit of a wait at the end of the night because there was a lot of people trying to leave at the same time, but it wasn't bad. Weather was a bit all over the place. It was a cooler day, so we made sure we brought jackets with us as well. It did rain at certain spots, but there's enough places at Hollywood Studios where you can get out of the rain, so it shouldn't be a big issue. We did not get a chance to ride Rise of the Resistance, which we really wanted to ride because our niece had never been on it before. The ride was down for a while, and then Genie Plus had no reservations for it, and the line was extremely long. Like the wait time was 3 hours, and nobody's waiting 3 hours, especially with little kids. We also didn't get a chance to ride the Tower of Terror due to the same issues, the line being long, the ride was down for a while, and there were no reservations available for it. Disney is definitely not a place you can do in one day, so I wouldn't recommend trying to do it in one day. You just gotta go multiple days. Overall, it was a good day, and we enjoyed ourselves. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, follow the page. Our next videos will be about our wonderful cruise with Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. See what I did there? It's just wonderful.